So yeah, right, so let's get into it. So we have 3 different categories that I have for this next set of videos. So we're going to look at audio stuff, which is music, voice, sound effects, stuff like that. And we have the visual creative, which is the pictures, video, products, stuff like that. And we have our regular large language models, Claude, ChatGPT, and the likes, and how I basically use some of these things. So we're starting with like visual, and for visual I have a few selected tools that I want to talk through here, which I use often. So we are looking at the tools, not the models, right? The models are under the tools, or the models are aggregated inside the tools nowadays, which is like the approach most of these tools are taking. Now the tools I'm going to mention are not the end all be all. There's like an infinite number of tools that exist, but these are the ones that I use, and these are the ones that I am currently comfortable with until something else comes and overtakes them. So without further ado, let's dive into some of the AI employees that I use for visual creative work. So the first one, and probably my favorite, is Midjourney, right? Midjourney is an image generation tool primarily. It can do animation as well, or like image to video workflows can be done on Midjourney as well, but I don't really like the image to video workflows here because it's not as great as I would want it to be as at now. But I do like Midjourney for like creating artistic styles, artistic expressions, and stuff like that. So whenever I want to do creative direction, or like figure out some creative styles that I want to use for projects, this is basically where I would come and do all my explorations and experimentations for my art direction, basically. And like, as long as you can imagine it, you can build it with Midjourney. And one thing I like about Midjourney is once you figure out a style and you lock in a style, you can build assets from that particular style, and it keeps things as consistent as possible. So I would show a few. There's this one particular project that I developed, basically an illustration system for a brand. Yeah, an illustration system for a brand that's basically, I mean, the project didn't end up anywhere, but I think it was a fun experiment to run, where there's this brand, they needed they had done some branding work, they needed an expansion on the branding work, plus illustrations, but it was a startup, like local Nigerian startup, and they needed an illustration system without having to pay for an illustrator, right? And at the time, Midjourney's style references had been launched very recently. So the basic workflow for this is you build an illustration style through iterations, right? And you can see from my screen here where we started from, and we went through a bunch of things. I was playing with some gradient backgrounds, colors from their brand, which was like the oranges and the purples. Started creating some form of imagery from here. This was more like mostly close to like realism, and then we got into like an illustrative style, which I really liked, and then we kept that going, and then we kept developing and iterating on that, right? So once you build a style in Midjourney, you can generate style references. I think I would probably do another set of videos later going deep dive into like each of these two specifically, but because this is a roundup of the bunch of tools and what I use them for, I'm not going to like go into further details. But you can create styles, you can create style references you can create mood boards that help you create art and illustrations within a consistent framework, which you can then use for your project. So that's what I built for this brand, and the idea was that whatever illustration they needed to create, they just needed to write a simple prompt, image prompt here, and then they add the style reference code, which is here, and then they select the model, image model, which was available at the time, and then they can have super consistent illustrations. Now some of the illustrations will look wonky as usual, it's AI, but then every once in a while, like, you get something that works, right? And there's an animation that I'm working on that uses this particular style, which hopefully I'm able to finish soon enough and share. But yeah, that's basically what I use Midjourney for: art direction, generating style explorations, and then, you know, helping, like, generating that and then scaling that up, right? So that's basically what I use Midjourney for. Now, when you go into Midjourney, there's an explore tab where you get to explore what other people are creating here, right? So there are images, you can explore videos as well, and you can explore styles. So styles basically are style references that people have created and curated. So you can come here, find a style that you think works for whatever you are doing, and then just copy the style reference code and then use that in your prompts or like a project that you're working on, and you will get like images that are following this particular style. So it's kind of like hiring an illustrator who has a peculiar style that you're looking for to work on a project, right? So these are styles that people have created using Midjourney. And yeah, like this, it's a pretty awesome tool. I work mostly with like illustrations, animations, and stuff like that. I don't do a lot of like realism based work, so this works extremely well for me because I can go crazy with my style explorations. I can go crazy with my experimentations, and like yeah, like I said, I do most of my art direction work now when I'm in an exploratory phase using Midjourney, right? And then you come to the create, that where you see all the things that you've created. When you click on folders, you can create folders and create like different projects in there so that you keep things organized. You can keep things, you know, consistent as possible. And then I'm not going to talk about this edits yet. And then we have personalized, which is basically your aesthetics. Oh, my subscription has ended, so it looks like those things are not going to open up for me. Yeah, but you get the idea, right? So when you go to aesthetics, you can go to personalize, create mood boards, style creator, where you get to create your own illustration or image generation styles, and then you can now use them in your project. So that's Midjourney, right? For Adobe Firefly, I mean, if you use generative fill inside Photoshop, or if you use some of the smart editing tools inside Premiere Pro or After Effects, you are most likely using Firefly already, right? But then there's this part of Firefly called boards, which basically works like, so there's this new crop of AI tools or creative tools that are coming that are canvas based, right? And what canvas based means is you have an infinite canvas, sort of like Figma or like tools like that. And what that does, or what that gives you, is an opportunity to bring in multiple models from different places into one place. So you can basically go from image to illustration to video to 3D to vector to whatever it is that you want to do, depending on what the platform or what the tool offers, right? And it allows you to stop jumping from, because before, with all these AI tools, what would typically happen is you generate your images from one place, take it out, take it to another place to perfect it, take it out, take it to another place to animate it, bring it out, take it to another software to, you know, edit the video, right? But now what is happening is all these tools are beginning to consolidate all the different models, and they have different takes on how they want the users to work. So Firefly Boards is my primary tool to use inside Firefly. So when I come here, I have you have your canvas here, and then you have your tools on the left, some settings on the right. So over here you can see transform properties, blending modes, stuff like that, standard Photoshop image editing stuff. And then you can see your generation history here. You can get access to Adobe stock straight right from inside Firefly, and then add comments. So comments are here because canvases also allow for collaboration, right? So if I have a team member also working on this file, they can leave direct comments on parts of the projects that we are working on, so that you can make edits, make iterations, etc., etc. So yeah, like and then down here you have your creation tools, as I call it, right? So you have your generate image. So this canvas, Firefly's canvas, mainly uses chat-based interfaces to make edits and stuff like that. So you open the chat box. Let me close this. And so you go to generate image. Pretty straightforward. You open a chat box. It has image reference. You describe an image of what you want to create. You choose your model. So inside Firefly, you get a bunch of Firefly models and a bunch of other partner models, from Flux to Gemini to ChatGPT, Ideogram, etc. And you can also suggest the model that you want them to add if it's not already in there, right? And then you choose your aspect ratio, you choose your resolution, use Google search or not. So this is actually a feature that I think Gemini only allows for now. So if I wanted to generate an image of, say, an image of Independence Arc in watercolor illustration style, and then I use Google search landscape, you see the number of credits you are using here, and then I hit generate, right? Then now we just wait, and it will generate something without me having to necessarily go and look for a reference image of what the Independence Arc looks like and then bring it in. So the Google search will search for whatever it is and then bring it back in the image for me. And while that goes on, we can go to generate video. So similar interface, generates, you can choose your video models, and we have like a bunch of video models available from Kling, Mavi, Ray, Runway, Sora, View, etc. And then same aspect ratio, 720p, 1080, whatever, and then you choose the settings, audio or no audio, uses 400 credits, and then you generate, right? So that's basically how it works. And after something has generated, you click on it and you can place on canvas, and then you choose where on the canvas to place your image, and then you can resize. When you come here, you can edit the image in here. You can create variations, more like this, keep style, keep subject, and then you can do other image editing stuff from this tab, all inside Firefly. So so it basically did the Google search and then brought back this image. Now it's not perfectly one-to-one what it is, so if I wanted, I could just go in there and then edit this furthermore. Yeah, so that's just an example of like what you can do with Adobe Firefly. And this is a quick experiment I was doing. So these images are from illustrations from Midjourney, and then brought them into Firefly to just test the different video models. So with the same image, same prompts, I was just trying to figure out, okay, which video model gives me the most prompt adherence, right? So that's another thing you can do, is like you can easily test multiple different models all in one place without having to like leave go, come back, blah blah blah. So that's Adobe Firefly in summary and what you can do with it. Then we come to my favorite, which is Figma Weave. I talk about Figma Weave all the time. I mean, it used to be called Weavy. Figma Weave is, I think, to be honest, quite a weird name and a mouthful to mention. So I'll just be doing Weavy for now. So when I say Weavy, I'm referring basically to Figma Weave, right? So Figma Weave basically works in the same way as Adobe Firefly Boards. It's also a canvas-based creative tool, but it has something extra that we call nodes. It's like a node-based system. So what is a node-based system? Basically, a node-based system is a system that allows you to still go from one medium to the other. So you can go from text to image, you can go from image to 3D, you can go from 3D to image, you can go from image to video, video back to image, compositing. You can even do video editing inside Weavy right now. You can go from image to vector and all kinds of things. So it's one tool that gives you access to multiple models, right? And the node-based system basically allows you to plug things into things. So basically, this is your Weavy interface. So very simple, very plain. You have your file title here. You have the number of credits left on the right here, and then you can also share the file, create a collaborative file, create an asset that people can look into. And then on the right, we have search, where you can search for different models. These are quick access, like recent models that I've used. Your toolbox, which is basically image editing, video editing tools, so like rotate, crop, compositor, painting, blurring things, inverting color channels, etc. And then you have your image models, you have your video models, and then you have your 3D models. Now, Weavy allows you to do image, it allows you to do LLMs, which is like your text, your prompts, stuff like that. It allows you to do 3D, it allows you to do video editing, it allows you to do compositing, it allows you to do vector, right? So it has a wide range of things that you can do inside one canvas with one project, which is something that I like about it. And you can build complex workflows that help you automate certain processes, and I'll talk more about that in like other videos. But that's basically Weavy, and that is why I like it, because it's like it allows me to do so much and so many things in just one space. So for example, this is like an image of the World Cup. I needed a 3D model of the World Cup for something. I wasn't getting a model I liked, so I found an image online, and then cropped it out, brought it in here, and then I'm able to generate like a 3D version of the World Cup. The World Cup itself, this is like a different version. I was just trying out multiple different models, and then this is also another version, right? Which I then took into After Effects to go and animate, right? Because you can download FBX, you can download OBJ, and then you take it into your 3D software of choice, and then you go and animate it over there. So basically, you have your prompt, you have your inputs, which can be an image, video, image, video primarily, and then you have your, actually let me do an example. So you have your prompt, let me pick from, so you can right click, select prompt, an image of the Independence Arc in watercolor painting style. Yes, and then once you pull the node and release it, it asks you what else do you want, right? So what are you connecting that to? Then I can pick, let's say, Nano Banana Pro, and then inside Nano Banana Pro, once you click on the node, you see your settings on the right here. So resolution 2K, aspect ratio, I want 1:1, for example. And then I'll typically just pull from the image because I need another image input. If I have an image reference, if I don't have an image reference, I can leave it like that. And then click run model, and it would run and then generate the image that I want. It's as simple as that. So I'll do in-depth videos into like all these tools, but like this is just an overview of like what you can do with these tools. So while this is generating, let's go into the next one, which is used to be FreePic. Again, like these tools are just growing and changing every 2 minutes, right? So sometimes it's very difficult to keep up. But if you haven't heard already, FreePic, which used to be FreePic, is now Magnific. I'm guessing, I haven't read the press release or anything, but a few years ago, FreePic bought Magnific and integrated some of their models into FreePic, and now FreePic is now Magnific. So there's still Magnific Upscaler, but that's not exactly the now Magnific, but Magnific used to be FreePic. It's, yeah, you get me. Yeah, so our image is done generating, and then we have the independence arc still, yeah, independence arc, and yeah. So Magnific Magnific has like FreePic. Yeah, for the sake of this video, let's still call it FreePic, right? It has a bunch of tools. When you go to all tools, you have image generation, you have image upscaler, skin enhancer, remove background, assistant, cinematic shots, change camera, relights, all these other things, right? Which is great. But why I come to Magnific or FreePic is because of their products called Spaces. Spaces is basically like how Weave works, right? But the difference with Spaces is, which project should I open? The difference with Spaces, the main difference between Spaces and Weave, I think, is the number of models that you can use. I think the credit systems are also different, but they are both node-based systems, right? So with Weave, I can do 3D, I can do vector. With Spaces, it's mostly image and video, and LLMs, I think, but yeah, mostly images and video. So similar usage here, you right-click, you have access to all media references, image, video, audio, that's new, text, and utilities, right? So if you want to create, and another thing about FreePic is the images, the way the prompt system works is, actually, let me try one. So you have image generator. You don't need a separate text node to plug in your prompt like the way Weave does it. With FreePic or with Magnific, you just have one node, which is your image generator, and then you type your prompt in. Okay, let me just go and copy it and come and paste. I can't be typing this all the time. I don't need this. I need put that in here. Yes. So you just do that. You do your settings. So this is the number of generations that you want. The a friend is saying the model that you are looking for. So let's go with imaging 4 fast for now, and then aspect ratio, and then you click run, and then it will run and generate your image for you. Oh yeah, my this thing is finished. Yeah, it will run and then generate your image for you. So similar thing like Weave, you can build systems and workflows and then share with other people so that they can also what do you call it, either work with the file or do whatever they want to do with that. So this is a simple project. Actually, let me go back and Is it this one? Yeah. So this is, yeah, something similar. So I have my input image, which is the car, and then you have different nodes writing different prompts, and then generating different images, right? So you have characters, plug in the characters into different scenes. You have vehicle, placing the vehicle in like different scenes, different shots, different environments, and then just playing around with different elements, different multi-shots of the same image, having storyboards generated for like potential video for an ad for the car. Yeah, so I mean you can the possibilities are endless with like node-based systems. So like the reason why I like node-based systems is you get a chance to test different models in one space, one sandbox. You get to iterate a lot, you get to do everything in one space, and then after you're done, you export your final production and then take it out to whatever you want to go and do with it. So like they are really great. I think it is the future of how creative work is supposed to be done in tools. So yeah, I think like Figma was way ahead of the curve with how they decided to design their design or creative tool. And all like yeah, right now all the other tools are like following suit. Yeah, so again, I'll do a separate video on Magnific Spaces. So if that's something that you want to do, sorry, Magnific Spaces. So if that's something that you want me to do, drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know which tool you are most interested in to hear more about first, and then we'll do that. And then, baby last, Higgsfield. Now, Higgsfield can be so overwhelming and so confusing, but I think it's also like a very, very, very powerful tool because it has so many models, it has so many automations built in, it has so many systems. So if you are somebody who doesn't like to do a lot of work setting up things and you want an easier way out, yeah, I think Higgsfield is great, but then it's also quite expensive and the credits run out very quick. So you pick your poison, right? Yeah, so for example, like when you go to image, right, they have 2 billion things or 2 million things happening over here. They have these things called soul characters where you can create characters to do multiple things with. They have relight, which is another thing that I like about their models, which is you can basically relight a scene from one to the other. So this is an example of a 3D scene from a project that we worked on. This is like actual 3D, not AI generated. And then this is a relit version of that same scene using different lighting colors from different angles. Yeah, I mean like a Higgsfield tutorial would be like a very long tutorial because there's a whole lot of things that you can do with Higgsfield. But they have like walkthrough videos and stuff on their YouTube and stuff, so you can go there and watch that as well. But basically, yeah, like you can, the Cinema Studio 3.0, the other Cinema Studio that they had, basically you could, let me see if I can find it. They've removed all those things. Go to image. Yes, basically you can select the camera that you want to shoot with, lens, focal length, aperture, all of that, and then write your prompts and then generate your image. So like I used to use it mostly for like, so my mom has a YouTube channel as well. You can check it out if you want, and like she does a lot of cultural stuff and all those things, and there's not a lot of like imagery and things that we have for some of those things sometimes, unfortunately. So like for thumbnails and stuff like that, I use cinema studio to create images like this, where you get camera lens, camera angle, everything. Sorry, and you're able to like get really cool shots and images that sometimes look like quite realistic, that tells the story that you want to tell, right? And yeah, I just like to explore with like different cameras and different lens combinations, to get like different kinds of images and imagery, and it's like really cool. So I think Higgsfield whole shtick is like to help people who want marketing at scale, and also people who want to create films, right? Because they even have this whole, they have a whole, what's it called, streaming service that basically plays or shows, if I can find it here. They're always changing the UI as well, so sometimes it's annoying to use. But they have, I'm not even finding it. Yeah, but they have like a whole streaming service that basically has Higgsfield made content. Let me see if I can find it. Higgsfield streaming, Higgsfield original series. Yeah, so they have like AI made series that you can binge watch. Some are really good, some are also trash. But yeah, like it shows you the capabilities of what you can do with their tool and their models. And the nice thing I like about it is anything that you select, okay, this one is not out yet, with any film that you select, you get also a sneak peek into yeah, they've taken out that feature as well. They used to have spaces where you could see all the generations they did to come up with the particular production that is there, which I think was like a really cool look behind the scenes, but I can't see that anymore. But yeah, that's Higgsfield for you. I realized that I probably need to do like in-depth videos on all of these tools, but basically this video was just to show you, give you an overview of like some of the tools that I use and what potential they have to do whatever you want to do for you. So if you have like some more specific questions that you want me to take into account when I'm working on like the individual separate videos, let me know, and then I'll take that into account as well. In the next video, we are going to be talking about audio tools that I use for music and just general audio work as well in my project. So yeah, we'll see you in that one. Peace.